Hello everyone, and welcome to Tab Soul Kitchen. We are recording live from the historic Tabernacle Baptist Church at 801 8th Street in West Palm Beach, Florida, in the glorious Palm Beach County. This congregation is led by Reverend Gerald Kisner and First Lady Mamie Kisner. Thank you all for your support. We're going to speak today about 7 last words and the tradition behind it. 7 last words is a long-standing Good Friday worship practice that is rooted in the biblical account of Jesus' final words from the cross. It's a service which 7 preachers reflect on the 7 last words of Jesus on the cross. And over the past decade, the practice has expanded to include more African American women preachers. Why we eat fish on Good Friday? On Good Friday, many Christians, especially Catholics, abstain from eating meat as a sign of penance and mourning for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Why meat is forbidden? Meat is historically associated with celebration and abundance, so avoiding it on the day of mourning is a visible act of self-denial and remembrance of Jesus Christ. Why is fish permitted? Under Catholic law, meat refers to the flesh of warm-blooded animals, such as beef, pork, chicken, and lamb, while fish and shellfish are allowed because they are not classified as meat, technically. And this distinction has roots in the early Christian dietary classifications, where fish was seen as humble and accessible, especially in coastal communities. Historical and symbolic reasons. Practically speaking, fish was more often readily available than land animal meat, thus making it a sustainable choice for fasting. And the Christian symbolism goes back to the Greek word for fish, which is spelled I-C-H-T-H-Y-S. I'm going to try to pronounce it. Ichthys? That sounds wrong. But nevertheless, the Greek word for fish is an acronym for Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior, used as a secret sign among persecuted Christians. And there are many biblical connections and references. For example, Jesus called his first disciples fishermen, as noted in Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 through 22. He performed miracles with fish in Matthew chapter 14, verses 13 through 21, and he ate fish with his disciples after resurrection in John chapter 2 and John chapter 21, verses 9 through 14. And there is a medieval tradition as well associated with 7 last words. And that is, by the 13th century, eating fish on Fridays became a widespread in Europe, partially due to the church's formalization of meat abstinence. And there's certainly a cultural impact that stands until today. The tradition of eating fish on Good Friday and on Friday during Lent has led to popular dishes such as fish and chips in many countries. Even non-religious people often adopt the habit of eating fish on a Friday, seeing it as a way to honor the day's modern culture. And in short, we eat fish on Good Friday because the church allows it as a substitute for meat. It was historically practical, it was accessible, and it carries deep Christian symbolism tied to Jesus' life, ministry, and identity. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Tab Soul Kitchen. We were speaking on 7 last words and the symbolism of honoring Jesus' 7 last words and eating fish on Good Friday. We hope that you'll join us for Easter this year. God bless, and see you soon.